Morning. Good morning, Trinidad today. So a friend of mine asked me a question recently. Where do CEPEP workers come from? Right? So this morning the Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, is coming point for him. And you see that there? Look at that. So you have all those persons cheering like that. You know how much they get for the month? Their salary for the month is $100 for the day, $1,800 for the month. Would you believe that those persons that you see cheering there, working for $1,800 a month, they have children, groceries to pay. They can't be paying no rent. They can't be paying no rent. They can't be buying no foreign used cars. Because I they sell foreign used cars. And no CEPEP worker don't come at me to buy no car. But where do all these CEPEP workers come from? Look at that. Huh? You know, the Prime Minister would have been proud because these people here would have been the ones who would have allowed him to win the local government election. Because 80% of the population didn't vote. So that means we have at least 100,000 CEPEP workers that voted for the UNC and 100,000 CEPEP workers that worked for the PNM. And this morning they're cheering $100 a day, $1,800 for the month. What can they afford? Where do they come from? They come from right next to you and me. Right next to me and you. I don't work CEPEP. I mean, at some point in time, I remember a time I gave me $60 to cutlass a piece of place. Look at that, and they chain. They chain. I wonder when they receive their salaries of $1,800 a month, if they're so jubilant, if they're so happy, if that is the kind of joy that they just feel when they get $1,800 a month. I would like to ask them that, but I can't. Because they will never do an interview. I'll tell you why. Because every single one of them, they think that they government care about them. Because you know why? Because that amount you see in there, that amount of people you see in there, it have 3 times the amount that unemployed living next to them. That's why they're cheering, you know. That's why they're cheering. They are cheering and clapping. Because they feel themselves entitled. Because the amount of people that living next to them who unemployed, they're feeling entitled. That's why they're cheering, you know. That's why they're cheering, because they're getting $100 for the month, $100 for the week, $1,800 for the month. That's why they're cheering. This here is the new highway, and it's leading right out to Library. Persons would have. We have a port in Library there. We have a port in Library that's sitting idle. Before they would have built that port, they would have showed plans of heavy maritime traffic in the Gulf of Paria. The government not interested in that. Why they're not interested in that? Because this is what they're interested in. See what they're interested in? Hiring persons for $100 for the $1,800 for the month. So when election come, they can tell them, come and vote, because I want to win election for you. And these people feel entitled. So when you're passing in your car, you see like that BMW Volvo and now pass there. When you're passing in your car and you're watching these people working for $100 for the month, $18 for the month, think about that. Because they live next to you. They live next to you. We have been selling oil and gas and pitch and lumber and teak in this country. We closed down Caroni. This is what we closed down Caroni for? This is what we closed down Caroni for? And we closed down Caroni to hire people to work for $100 for the week, $100 for the day, $500 for the week. What $500 for the week can buy you? Eh? A Rohan, the other day, I see you in Hyatt. What $500? Eh? That $500 can't even buy you a beer in Hyatt. But this today, you're going to come point to open the highway. You're going to come point, and these same people will be clapping for you. these same people here will be clapping for you. You and the Prime Minister. Eh? You will come in your house. Good morning. Good morning, Fernando. Good morning. Where do CEPEP, Community-Based Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program, where do CEPEP workers come from? Where do CEPEP workers come from? CEPEP workers are unemployed persons in our community. They work for $100 for the day, $1,800 for the month. What kind of lifestyle, if any at all, if you could call that a lifestyle, if you're working for $100 for the day? When these friends, I have friends who work in CEPEP, I have friends who begging to work CEPEP. What does that say? What does that say? If people begging to work for $100 a day, what does that say? If people, none of these workers, persons, friends, family members, fathers, mothers, how are these people supposed to send their children to school for $100 for the day, $1,800 for the month? Where do they live? How do they live? But this morning, the Prime Minister coming point 410. He coming proud to open. He's a proud black man coming to open a highway. 13 years now it being built. He coming proud because these same persons here will have to be at that opening. They'll have to cheer on. They'll be in their P&M jersey. When the opposition and the government gets 100,000 votes, this is where the votes come from. These persons that work for $100 for that day, $1,800 for the month, in a country that's selling oil and gas decades now, this is the only thing that the government, that the proud black man that runs this country is proud of producing. 100,000 persons working for $100 for the day. So we close down our refinery. We don't know where the pitch going. We don't bottle water, we don't do agriculture. How do these people, none of these persons will tell you how they live. None of these persons. Ma'am, how are you going? How much does CEPEP pay you all? How much does CEPEP pay you all for the day? How much is it for the month? $2,000, she said. She said let's make $2,000. What kind of, as I say, how do they live? She look like her grandmother. So she mining, son, she's daughter, she's a trench, grandchildren, school. You know, recently, persons would have come to me because they were begging to get their children on the school transport service at the CEPEP Composite School. They have a student population of 400 children, but you have a school transport service for 100 children. Totally inadequate. 20 years now happening. Wait! Come now, ask you a question. This is Mr. White.
Oi.
Now, where do CEPEP workers come from? Do you know that CEPEP workers work for $100 for the day, $1,800 for the month?
Yeah, and sometimes that's...
What kind of... How do they afford? How tell me.
Well, for them themselves, but I don't know they afford, but for them themselves, like, they like that, because that's how they utilize it, them now.
They like that?
They like that.
Why you say something like that?
Because, you see, they have these people having them, you know, like under pressure, and they can't say nothing. Now these groups, there are about 12 groups within relocate you to Library because me Prime Minister me coming over.
Prime Minister coming to the open highway.
Open highway.
A proud black man.
Yeah.
Is this what Rowley's proud of? Having black people work for $100 for the day?
Well, boy, I mean, the state, I don't know, they deserve more than that.
You was working in the oil industry, they closed down that.
Yeah.
So we closed down the oil industry to employ people for $100 for the day.
Yeah.
We closed down
And
Caroni.
making them feel that that's enough for them, but they deserve more. Let's work hard.
Come on, say something and do something for yourself. That's why we talking. They want to talk. No action. What kind of action you want?
You willing to come out?
You're coming out. You're willing to come and do a video to stand up for yourself?
Tell them.
You're on fire. See now I'm moving.
Yeah. Upstairs.
Cut.
Right, Khan, so we up here now live on the scene. Let me hear what you have to say because I know you're on fire.
Morning. Morning, children today. Good morning to everybody. A friend of mine asked me recently, where do CEPEP workers come from? Where do CEPEP workers come from? CEPEP workers are unemployed. Unemployed. You know why they're unemployed? Because they are paid $100 for the day, $1,800 for the month. Do you consider them being paid $1,800 for the month employed? And these people here will never stand up for themselves and speak out. You know why? Because it have 2 and 3 times the amount of persons living next to these same persons who are unemployed as well. So these persons here, Prime Minister coming point for them this morning. So they're cleaning up the area. A proud black man, they're cleaning up. So these proud black people here cleaning up the roadside for a proud black man to come point forth in, and they will be expected to be at that opening chair. On election day, they'll be expected to work and vote. You want to know how the government and the opposition get their 100,000 votes? This is your 100,000 votes here at $100 a day. In a country that's selling oil and gas more than 20 to 40 years now, this is all we're looking to produce. 100 a day workers, $1,800 a month. What? These mothers, fathers, friends, neighbors, this is how much they work for, $100 a day. $100 a day. What do you feel they can afford for that? If maintenance is $500 for the week, that means you have to work CEPEP on something else. You have a port in Library. But I understand it's sitting idle. And we have a lot of maritime traffic outside that port. Studies would have been shown the amount of maritime. We selling oil and gas. We selling oil in this country years now. Years now we selling oil. But we do have a refinery. Because why? We only interested in producing CEPEP workers. come election time, or when the Prime Minister to come and open a highway, they could clean the side of the road for it. They don't care nothing about these people, you know. They don't care nothing about them. I increase?
Hey, go for it like you want to give me.
I increase?
Yes.
$100 a day? That's an increase? Eh? You feel that right? $100 a day? $1,800 a month? What I can do for anybody? What I can do for you? What $1,800 for the month could do for you? Nothing! Eh? What $1,800 for the month could do for you? Eh? How you sending your child to school with $1,800 for the month? That can make grocery? Flour and oil. You hear that, Rowley? Flour and oil. Eh? Flour and oil, Rowley. Flour and oil. That's why $1,800 can buy. Flour and oil. Ready? Good morning. Good morning, Trinidad. This morning I have a question for you. Because the Prime Minister is coming to Point Fortin this morning to open the highway. Right? You see how nice they cut the grass. This morning I would have seen hundreds of CEPEP workers cutting grass around here and around the highway. And somebody would have asked me, where do CEPEP workers come from? That's the question. Where do CEPEP workers come from? This taxi driver here, you know, working CEPEP. I'm sure if he gets a CEPEP worker, he go take it. So where do CEPEP workers come from? You know where CEPEP workers come from? CEPEP workers are your neighbors. They work for $100 for the day. $2,000 for the month. You hear what I told you? CEPEP workers work for $100 for the day. $2,000 for the month. You know what's the funny thing? The people that work in CEPEP, they're happy. They think themselves entitled that they're working for $100 a day, $2,000. Because you know why? Because living next to those same people, living in the same household with those same people, are other unemployed people who are not working anywhere. That is why I cannot get, why would not approach a CEPEP worker to do an interview for, because they will be fired and then they go blame me for losing their job. In a country that's selling oil decades now. You know, we're selling oil since the World War. Americans used to come here and fuel up with oil, go and fight the war. Yet there are countries that don't have oil but have refineries. But no. See what we're producing? We're producing people to cut grass for $100 for the day. $100 for the day. That is what the Prime Minister coming here today. Because those same CEPEP $100 a day workers will come here. You see how they fix the place? Those same CEPEP workers, $100 a day, will be required to come here today to put on the PNM jersey or the UNC jersey, to come and support and show them the PNM numbers at $100 a day. Those same people would have worked for election at $100 a day. That is what the country is coming to. We're not doing. A gentleman just told me he went Guyana and it have politicians go in Guyana setting up farms, coconut farms, to bring back coconut water to sell here in Trinidad. But look, it have coconut trees growing here. But we're not interested in that. We're not interested in export. We're only interested in producing CEPEP workers at $100 a day. That's what we're interested in. We have a port in Labrie. Millions of taxpayers' dollars would have been spent to set up that port. It sits there, idle. Unemployment is rampant. There are at least, I don't know how much CEPEP gangs in Labrie. But if you check on any morning, hundreds of people cutting grass at the side of the road. And the port, where you have a maritime traffic, just outside, sits there idle. They put, first they don't want nobody to be importing port, they put a gate and they lock off the entrance. So if you're selling a little food, you want to make a little hustle, you want to go to a job, that is not for you. No, that is not for you. You is to look to get a CEPEP job, $100 a day. Last week, a parent would have called me because she is a single parent and she can't get her son on the maxi for the serious couples at school. So we went down there to find her. You know what they told us? They told us they have a student population of 400 children. They have a student population of 400 children, but they have a school transport service for 100 children. All of which don't live in the area. So children reaching the school 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock in the day. What do you think going to happen to their education? You know what they'll end up? CEPEP workers, because that is what we're trying to produce. In the afternoon, children finishing school at 30:30. The bus reaches at 4 o'clock. So they're reaching home after dark. What will happen? They'll get frustrated. They don't have time to do homework. What they will end up? CEPEP workers. That's what we're interested in. That's what we're interested in. We're interested in producing CEPEP workers at $100 a day, $1,800 for the month. Come, put on a P&M jersey. Come and support me when I reach up my highway. Come and vote for me. Forget who don't want to vote. You have to vote, because if you ain't come back with your finger red, you can't come back to work. That's what we're interested in producing. CEPEP.